Yes, good morning and welcome to the Simple Steps for Starting Your Business, Session 1. Just some housekeeping and welcome. Use the chat features to ask questions during the demonstration. Live Q&A will be at the end of the demonstration. Today's presentation is being recorded and will be emailed to all participants. At this time, we're going to take a quick poll. What is the status of your business? Have you started your business plan? Is this your first time attending a SCORE webinar? Okay, so is this what is the status of your business? It's like 10% in business, 60% in the planning stage, 30% exploring possibilities. And have you started your business plan? 60% yes, 40% no. Is this your first time attending a SCORE webinar? 100% yes. That's great. So I'd like to welcome today's presenters, introduce today's presenters. We got Bob Garcia, Jaspreet Chauhan, Kevin Ross, myself, and Tom Sims. Today's session is the first session in the Simple Steps for Starting Your Business, Startup Basics. Are you ready to start? About SCORE. SCORE volunteers are successful and experienced business executives. We offer seminars and workshops, free mentoring, both virtual and email, and an abundant resources for small businesses at www.score.org. So here's the process roadmap we can expect. One-on-one mentoring. Session 1, Startup Basics. Session 2, Great Idea. Session 3, Marketing Your Business. Session 4, Financial Matters. Session 5, Funding Sources. And by then we should be able to determine, is it a go or a no-go decision, and next steps with a mentor, which would be mentoring and building a business plan. And I'd like to open up Session 1, Startup Basics, and pass it on to Bob.
Thanks, Kevin. Let me add my welcome to everybody and congratulate you for attending the Simple Steps. We feel that it's critical and it'll provide you critical information that you'll need to have a successful business. So, are you ready? What you'll learn is the workshop benefits, myths and realities of entrepreneurship, critical success factors. We're going to give you some options, components of business ownership, and of course, you need to make it legal. We're going to give you some business plan basics, some self-assessments, which is always critical, and then we'll offer you some next steps. So, workshops provide an opportunity to test the feasibility of your ideas. We're going to help you develop a feasibility plan. We're going to take you through the decision-making process, like Kevin said. After each series, we're going to ask you to either make a go or no-go decision on your business idea. The core information to complete a business plan for bankers, investors, and yourself, and it is different than feasibility plan. And we're going to give you some key directions you'll need to get started. The elevator pitch. I'm sure all of you have heard about the elevator pitch, who you are, what you do, and how it can benefit you and your client and the time it takes for an elevator to go 3 floors. This Tuesday, we're going to have homework, and we're going to ask you to briefly give us your elevator pitch of who you are, your business idea, and how it can benefit you and your client. Myths and realities of entrepreneurship. I think we all know that myth 1 is not true. You won't have to work that hard to put in some long hours, especially in the beginning. You'll find that you, more than anybody else in your business, will be working long hours to make your business a success. My product or service is unique and there's no competition. It's highly unusual that you have a service or a product that is unique in the business that nobody else has it. There's always going to be competition. Business owners can deduct everything so you won't have to pay taxes. Paying taxes is a privilege because if you're paying taxes, that means you're being profitable. It's up to you to work closely with your accountant to find out how you can minimize those taxes. As a business owner, you won't have a boss. I'll tell you, your customer is your boss. Somebody once said, if you don't listen to your customers, someone else will. Business owners get to do whatever they want to do. Now, that's true. You're the boss. You can come and go as often as you want. But whatever you do, you need to pay attention to the business. According to Bureau of Labor Statistics, 1 in 4 people will fail after 2 years. After 5 years, you'll find that percentage goes 50-50. Next slide, please. There's 50-50. This series workshop will identify the 4 main reasons why small businesses will fail. And do you have what it takes? The critical success factors: education and experience in the field. As a retired banker, I would never make a loan to a banker who wants to start up a restaurant. You need to have that education and experience in the business that you want to open. A strong work ethic. We all think we have strong work ethics, but I tell people, go sit down with your mother and father and ask them that question. They'll tell you the truth. Effective time management, critical. You will have to be good at this. Ability to manage and multitask. Slide 25 in this presentation will tell you why this is going to be important. Willingness to ask for help and take advice from others. You need to get that advice from people who are in the know. And adequate working capital. You may be able to skate by the previous 5 bullet points. When you're short of cash, and it's all over. So you need to have adequate working capital. Do you have the financial resources? Obviously, you'll need to understand what you need to open the doors, what tools and equipment, what leasehold improvements you'll have to make, and understand when you're making leasehold improvements, you're improving somebody else's property. You are making it more valuable on your dollar. What license and permits and professional fees will you need? Initial inventory, and it's not just inventory, it needs to be the right inventory. And the working capital reserve fund. You'll always need to have a backup, just in case something happens to your working capital. And this will be my last slide before I introduce Tom Sims. Financial considerations, and we're talking personal here. One of the first things they ask when you're borrowing money is, what are your personal monthly costs of living? What do you need to draw out of this business? Areas where you can cut back. What is your outstanding debt? The amount of savings. If you're going to quit your job, it is strongly suggested that you have cash enough to cover 6 to 12 months of expenses. And with that, Tom.
Thank you, Robert. We want you to be able to know your options as you start a business. And so there are advantages and disadvantages to starting a new business. The advantages are you're not hampered by previous reputation or technologies of existing businesses. You can choose your own location, you can choose your name, your logo, you can build your own relationships, and you can explore new markets and directions. The disadvantages are that you have no existing customer base to build upon. You're taking a bigger risk and you don't have track record. You might have some difficulty in the beginning getting financing. You could buy an existing business. There's an established clientele and suppliers. There's a known location. It's a known quantity with a proven formula and name. You can review their financial records, and you should. And since the business has a track record, it may be easier to obtain financing. However, the disadvantages are potential hidden issues like debts, poor reputation. People had loyalty to the owner, out-of-date inventory or transfer issues. You have to ask, does the business have a good reputation? Is the inventory obsolete? Will you have an employee issue? And of course, there is never a guarantee that the success of the past will continue. You could buy a franchise. So you've had two so far: new business, buy an existing business. The third is buy a franchise. The advantages are you become a part of a proven system with proven products and services. Your marketing and sales power of the franchisor can be an advantage. The training and professional guidance you receive can be an advantage. Continued consulting relationship will be there, and you will have access to other franchises for help. But the disadvantages are limited freedom to make your own decisions. You're not always your own boss. You pay ongoing royalty and other fees. You have a binding contract that limits your exit options. And your franchisor problems are your problems. If they have a reputation problem that's national, for instance, lately, if they trend on Twitter because of something one store did, you are part of that. Now you could have a home-based or remote business. And this is the fourth option. The advantages are you have a very convenient work location. You have less overhead. You have a flexible schedule. You have certain tax advantages. We'll talk about another workshop. You hire people from anywhere in the United States or the world. Disadvantages are you might face zoning or deed restrictions. Your mentor can help you think through that. Isolation from others, difficulty finding financing, and there could be family distractions. If you can manage all of that, it might be an advantage to you. Now, if you are not going to be taking a profit out of this, you just want to have an enterprise that has a social benefit, you could set up a nonprofit organization. You may qualify at that point for government or foundation grants. There is a protection from liability for directors and employers if you take certain precautions, and you can pay salaries to employees and consulting fees for contractors. You will be an employee if you take a salary. You will not be an owner. The disadvantages are you have to focus on educational or charitable purposes. You cannot personally profit when you create the organization. All profits remain within the organization, and you must apply and qualify for a 501c3 status, which is or a sales tax exemption. You will not always get the sales tax exemption, depends on what you're doing, but you will, IRS can give you that. Or as another option, and after this, I'm going to be turning it over to my colleague, but the advantages are lower startup costs in an online business, sometimes just a few $100s, growing consumer acceptance to shop online, expanded geographic research. There's a convenience and accessibility for customers who can shop 24/7, and you have flexibility to do business anytime from anywhere. Disadvantages are low barriers to entry. So that means there's a lot of competition. Consumers have higher expectations and are less tolerant of problems because you're somewhat removed from them. And there's very little personal contact and limited sensory information for customers. They can't handle and touch and smell and feel what you have. I'd like to turn this over to my colleague, Kevin, to take it from here.
So components of owning a business. How many hats will you wear? Here we see a typical chart of departments and functions involved in most businesses. You can CEO, administrative, accounting, human resources, marketing, sales, customer service, production and fulfillment, technology and facilities. Each one of these roles have an important decision-making capacity, and you're going to have to decide, will you take on all these roles? Do you have any weaknesses in these areas? For example, are you uncomfortable working with numbers? Perhaps you should hire a bookkeeper or take a class to improve your skills. And how do you envision your organizational chart now and in the future? Which roles will you hire out? So we got marketing, strategy used to create a desired purchase, creates and promotes your image and builds your brand. Your product or service will not sell itself. This is all going to be covered in more detail in the workshop 3 marketing plan. So branding. Branding is your name recognition, qualification of product and service, market identity, and advertising. Building brand recognition. What do you want your business to be known for? Very important. Do you want to be low price leader? The company with the fastest service? Which colors and images portray your message? Where will you be advertising your business? Publications, which audiences? These are all things we got to consider. This is really a good time to be creative and really bring out some of the impact you're going to have in your targeted market. Sales, which is different than marketing. Contact and connect with customers. So how are we going to generate that revenue we're looking for? Find prospects, make presentations, prepare bids, close deals, process orders. Selling focuses on the needs of the seller to convert product to cash, while marketing focuses on the needs of the buyer and the needs to satisfy the customer through products produced. Do you have the skills? Are you weak in any area of business operation? Can you take a course to improve your skills? If there are duties that don't fit your skills, can you hire employees, take on a partner, or outsource these tasks? Even if you are skilled in all these roles, you won't have time to handle them all. Which are most important to your business? Which will you focus on? And which can you delegate? Other critical factors are location. So niche target market, competition, distribution, merchandising. Which kind of market will you be selling your product to? Who's your competition? These are all really critical things to consider. Other critical factors is price. So consumer reaction, cost, competition, credit terms, and discount. Your price is the strongest signal to a customer of the product's perceived value and the position in the market. Your customer typically sets the price and shows what the market can bear. A high price equals higher expectations, and a low price equals lower expectations. A low price might lead to a loss of perceived value. It's probably smart to avoid price wars. Other critical factors is competition. You got to assess your competitors, size of operation and number of employees, price and quality, services provided, reputation, strengths and weaknesses, personal visits and observations, suppliers and contractors, other businesses in the area. Competition is not only the basis of protection to the consumer, but is the incentive to progress. A quote from Herbert Hoover. So understanding your competitor helps you position your business. Study at least 3 competing businesses and figure out where your prices fit, what guarantees they offer, and what advantages and disadvantages they have. And now Jaspreet will take over.
Thank you, Kevin. And thank you, everybody, for joining us for this session number 1, making it legal. So having your business plan ready, having all the components, right mindset, first of all, as a sole proprietor, or, having a, entrepreneur mindset. So what are your, business structure is going to be, so there are these forms of business organizations that you can use depending on your business, So you could also start as a sole proprietorship. You can have a partnership, if you have more than one person, right? You can have LLC, that's more like formal type of business. So is C corporation and is S corporation subchapter. So these are some forms. These are the forms of your for your business. Depending on what your business is and what risk your businesses. So you have choices to choose your business structure. So let's go to the next slide and then we can give it. Okay, so maybe in the beginning, you want to keep it simple. I'm not a bookkeeper. I'm not your tax person. I'm not a lawyer, but I can give you some recommendations. So when I started my insurance business, I started with as a sole proprietor. No, it's the thing that, are you going to be selling to your friends, your families in the beginning? Then maybe it's safe, but once you get into other people like strangers, then maybe you want to consider the formal structure. So sole proprietorship, the benefit is that you are only one owner and you control everything. But the negative part is that your assets, your personal asset, your bank accounts, your home, your, whatever you own is at risk. If somebody, you're one of your customers, they file lawsuit against you, and then you have no protection. The partnership, you have more than one owner, that becomes a partnership. Even in partnership, it can be formal, it can be informal. So informal, you can also have some legal documents stating, your partnership roles in your business. Is it like 50-50 or whatever, how you're going to split your income, how you're going to be splitting your duties, your responsibilities, the debts, that you will have. So that's all part of the partnership. And, as a partnership and sole proprietorship, you have, it's your tax structure is, it's going to be like your individual tax, how you're going to be filing your 1040, and then you have some schedules that you can attach. Okay, so then we move on to the more formal structure, which is the LLC. And we have a, LLC is a limited liability company. So over here you have a protection. It's formal structure. So you have a, you have a protection for your personal assets. Of course, it's gonna cost you to have LLC, but at least you have, if you have a lot of assets and you don't want to take any risk, then the LLC is maybe next route you want to go after sole proprietorship. And there are others. Okay, sorry, can we go to the back screen? So then you have S corporations. If you have if your business is generating a lot of income, then the S corporation is maybe the route you want to choose, because that's where you can avoid some taxes. So you don't pay double taxations. And let's see, go to the next screen. Okay, so after choosing your legal structure, then you also want to consider about your business licenses, your approvals, whatever state you are in. You want to make sure that you have, you have agreement from your state to conduct business. If it's a restaurant, you know that what type of license you're going to be needing. And along with that, you also want to be aware about the labor laws. What is the minimum payment, minimum wages, or what is the, the break, lunch law, or, all those legal issues with the, employees that you could face. So you want to make sure that you have somebody that you can talk to. And the immigration laws, yes, of course, you're going to be hiring employees. So you want to at least know, what, the immigration laws are out there, and can you hire immigrants? And as you're making income, and because you're the self-employer, you're the, employer now, you're the owner. So you also want to be taking care of your IRS, all the taxes that you have to pay. There's some kind of liability, your Social Security, Medicare, all those, taxes that you have to be putting aside. So you don't get, penalized for not paying tax on time, or, not putting your tax money aside. So it's going to help you to organize your, business better. Okay. So let's have the next one. Okay, see, also for your business. So there are some insurances that you want to consider. Property, if you are renting a place, you want to, if it's a restaurant, you want to make sure that you have a property insurance, you have liabilities, coverage. If you are having vehicles for your business, you want to make sure that you have insurance for them. Umbrella liabilities, your workers' comp. If you have employees, you want to make sure that you have, based on the risk that you have workers' comp insurance. Your health insurance. I know you are becoming an entrepreneur now, so maybe you don't have a health insurance from your employee anymore if you don't work as employee. So that's another thing that you want to consider. You have a health insurance. And what about for your employees? What about life insurance for you or for your employees? If you have a partner in your business, you want to maybe consider like a key employee insurance. So, and then also business interruption. That's the insurance. If you don't, if somehow your business interrupted, you have some insurance that's going to back up your business. So these are some of the risks that you're trying to cover, for your business. So after this, I will have my colleague, Tom Sims, take the next session. And thank you.
We're going to talk now a little bit about business plan basics. And really, this is where we're going with the rest of this course. And this is what we do with mentorship, is to help you develop a well-rounded, specific, and workable business plan. The importance of a business plan is that it encourages an objective view. It becomes foundational for planning. It's a powerful management tool going forward to check back on, and it communicates your ideas as the owner entrepreneur. And we are going to work with you step by step with this in mentoring, in the homework sessions, and in the homework itself, and in these sessions. When you have your business plan fully rounded out, it will have a table of contents, an executive summary. It will have the section that describes the business. It will have your financial forecasts, and it will include supporting data. Again, we're going to walk you through this process. One tool that's going to help you that we will be announcing in a little while is the first step is a business model, one-page business model canvas. So you're not overwhelmed with having to write a multi-page document, but we will help you create a visual document, a very simple document that will be the basis for writing your business plan. But every business needs a banker. You need to have a banker who knows you and that you know that you can work with. You need a lawyer, and I don't mean somebody you talk to every week, but maybe someone you consult with in the beginning and helps you get your paperwork in order, and that you can call. An accountant, again, we may not be meeting with our accountant, they may not be our bookkeeper, but there's someone we meet with at tax time and to help set up our books. You need an insurance agent because you need insurance, and you need a SCORE mentor because we help you walk through the process. We ask the right questions. So we would encourage you to just in your mind or on a piece of paper right now, and then also later, because we're going to send this to you. We're not going to take time to do all of that, but to do a self-assessment. We're going to send you this so you can do it yourself. It's a quick assessment. It'll indicate your strengths and areas to work on with your mentor and other associates. Having weaknesses does not mean that you cannot develop them into strengths. Having strengths does not mean that you don't need to strengthen your strengths. It's going to take you about 10 minutes to fill out and score. And then we'd like you to take some time and share them with someone in your life. You're going to cover idea feasibility. You're going to cover market identification, implementation, funding, and personal readiness. And we can work with you on these next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. We really encourage you to come next Tuesday at 10 o'clock so that we can get personal. We can get down and dirty with this. We can help ask the questions and you can share them. There are no wrong answers. There are just a multitude of right answers. We also encourage you in your homework this week to write a vision statement for your business ideas. I want you to write down what it is that's burning in your heart that you think you could do. What's the overall purpose of your business? What are you trying to achieve? Why are you in business? Describe the products and services your business provides and explain what is important to your business, the values that your business lives by. And then when you shrink these, they become a big part of your elevator speech. So now what? Well, you want to be well to prepared to proceed by signing up for the future courses that we have. Simple steps to starting your new business. And you're going to, this includes your free one-on-one mentoring with SCORE. One of us or one of our other mentors will meet with you on a regular basis as many times as you like and as often as you like, you know, depending on our mutual schedules, to walk with you through this process. We'll help you test the feasibility of one or multiple business ideas and start to work on a plan and the financials. We'll help you learn more about the topics presented in this session. In case something just flew by you and you want more information, write it down, talk to your mentor about it. Defer your decision about going into business for yourself for now, but you don't give up on your dream. That may be an option for you. Now, yes. Later, yes, or maybe never, but I doubt it. Work with your SCORE mentor to fine tune the idea. And if you're already in business, like 10% of you are, we can talk to you about the various options for fine tuning your business. And then this is the outline of what we're going to cover. Here's where you are right now, startup basics. Are you ready for the, and if you're ready, sign up for the next session. Great idea, developing your business concept. On session 3, we're going to focus entirely on marketing. Not going to give you everything you know about marketing, but we're going to give you an overview, an airplane view of marketing. Session 4, we're going to get down on some financial matters that you really need to be planning for. And then session 5 is exciting for a lot of people, and that's we introduce some very practical and real funding sources. Here's some of the people we've worked with, either locally or everywhere. You know, our leader has worked a lot with Jelly Belly. Maybe you've been to Raising Cane's, the hottest thing on the market right now if you're a chicken lover. Colorado Grill. Ampersand is expanding with new locations. These are just some of the people that SCORE has worked with locally and around the country. You're in good hands with SCORE. We want to do a closing poll with you, and then we're going to go into our question and answer time where we can deal with some of the things that you've been wanting to know. But first, what we want to know. We would like, and if we can run those poll questions now, that would be excellent. Did you learn something today that you can put into practice right away or next week? But you can put into practice something practical. Did you learn something that you can do? Yes or no? Do you plan to attend the homework session on Tuesday at 10 a.m.? And then would you like to request a SCORE mentor to help you with your business plan? If you already have a mentor, you can, there's an option to answer that right there. So just take a moment and help us out, help us measure our effectiveness by filling that out. And we will also give you the link again to requesting a SCORE mentor. Okay, here are the answers. Oh, we're so grateful that everybody found something they can use, and that everybody's planning to be at the homework session. And then also we're really happy that at least 56% of you are requesting a mentor, and everybody else has one. So 44% of you already have a mentor who probably invited you to this session or facilitated that. So we're into Q&A now, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can move into the question and answer portion of our meeting. And let's see, what do we have? We have 2 questions in Q&A and 4 in chat. So if we could start with the first one is, these are very easy to answer, so I'll answer them. Will you be emailing the presentation slideshows? The good news is yes. I think before the end of the day, you'll get those. You'll get the links to those 5 sessions. They will be coming to you. Any particulars on that they need to know, Christina, those links are included in the email you send out, aren't they?
Yeah, so I'll send the presentation. The links will be in the email. You can also go to our website, which is centralvalley.score.org. Click on Take a Workshop, and you can see all of the upcoming webinars and sign up for them as well on there.
Okay, good. Well, one of the questions is my friend saying hi, my client, Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly. Back at you, and she's having some technical trouble. And if you're listening now, yes, you will get a link to this video. You can watch it in the convenience of your own home. Where do I find the readiness assessment? Well, there'll be a link to that document also in the email that you're receiving today. When do they get the manual, Christina?
That will be session 2.
It's session 2, so that'll also be in the manual, but there'll be a link to your all the homework in your email. And we have a mentor meet. Is this a personal message? Will the mentor? Yes, if you have a mentor meeting next week, your mentor can help you sort through any questions you have. You won't necessarily get everything you need, Andrea, in the first session. You can ask all your questions, but there'll be a systematic process for taking you from where you are to where you want to be. And so, yes, bring up any question you have with your mentor. Your mentor is there for you, and we encourage our mentors to listen very carefully to our clients' questions. So so you're sort of in control of that along with your mentor. They will guide you. I hope that answered your question. If not, will you post a follow-up? I want to pass on some of the deeper questions to my esteemed colleagues. Sarah, we can't give you a list of attorneys, but I wonder, Jaspreet, would you address how people sort out where to find a good attorney? And Kevin, you can jump in on that if you like as well.
Okay, so I do have one question from Paul Gomez, and he is asking, can I open an LLC in a different state like a Delaware, but still operate in California? So I think for that, you have to talk to your attorney, you have to talk to your CPA, but my understanding is that you can have your residence state as your domestic, and you can still be registered in different state, whichever state you're going to be working on as a foreign entity.
There's a caveat to that. There's paperwork to do that you have to register to do business, an out-of-state business in California, but we can help you find those links on. Otherwise, you just go to sos.ca.gov and the Secretary of State. Now, we never finished answering Sarah's question. Kevin, you have any tips for Sarah on how do you find a good attorney? We can give you,
Yeah, definitely. I think, having your priorities in mind, maybe write that out and kind of understanding yourself, what you're looking for in an attorney. I personally would like to have somebody local. And that's quite important to me, that knows my area, knows my industry. I personally, my attorney's title is an estate attorney that has a lot of experience in business planning, development, and estate planning. So I use him for quite a bit of that, and also for contract reviews. He's really good at that as well. And I would think you can get free consultations up front. So if you have questions, and try to see if he's a good fit, if you're gonna have a good relationship with them. But after that, you got to be real cautious, because they can be expensive, and they will charge you for every minute that they talk to you. So when you go into your attorney meetings, it's good to have very clear questions and be very specific. It's not really time for conversation. It's more for dealing with things straight to the point.
If anybody has a link to the Bar Association local website, they will give you some recommendations and of people that will give you a free consultation, maybe a 30-minute consultation. But one stop is the local Bar Association. And then I would talk to people you know in business and ask them for recommendations. Peter has a suggestion as well.
Yeah, a quick answer to that, go to score.org. And in the search engine is what we call legal issues. There's a whole host of information for you that addresses any question you have on legal issues and what to look for and that sort of thing. That's a real simple answer and the best results for you. Score.org, go in the search engine, legal issues.
Thank you. That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for responding to that. Any other questions you want to post today? If you feel more comfortable, we don't have a huge number of people coming on the screen and asking it verbally. We'd like you to. Okay, so I have a question from Natalie. Can you further explain in detail the advantages and disadvantages of an LLC? How can I use an LLC to protect personal versus business assets? Can I use personal asset for business and it stay protected? These are questions that get really specific.
Again, if you go to score.org and type in legal issues, there's several conversations in there regarding that. And you're gonna have different opinions by different people. But you get the simple answer by going to legal issues at score.org.
And they have a couple articles on LLCs and the advantages and disadvantages. And then you can run them by your mentor as well. Okay, so we already answered the question if you open a LLC in another state. And again, you won't get necessarily those answers on SCORE for California issues, but if you go to sos.ca.gov, they do have an article on that. That's the Secretary of State's office. And anything else? Okay, so any other questions? And we can go into more depth in a personal conversation and help direct you to the specific links you might need to get that information. We can help you with that research. And even while we're online with you, we can go search the SCORE website with you to find the right articles. And we're very happy to do that. At least I am. And so any other questions before we maybe see you in the homework session and next week's session? Yes, we thank you for your thanks. And anybody want to say anything in passing? We want to congratulate you on being here and taking this time. Jaspreet, Kevin, you want to say farewell?
Yeah, great job. It's great to be here. Just want to congratulate everybody on beginning this journey. And we're definitely here rooting for you.
I
Yes,
see Michael
and,
here.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody attending this session. And I hope that you attend the other sessions, the coming up like different 4 sessions to get complete understanding, how your business, all the, problems that you could, potentially have, but attending those workshops, it's going to help you to eliminate, it's going to help you to understand. So thank you, and we'll see you again.
Okay, so we're going to close this now. I'm going to ask the participants and other volunteers to stay on for a debrief. And you're getting some links on the screen right now for where to go.
We have one more question. It looks like Tom in the Q&A.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, it just came through. Yeah, right now.
Let me look at it and I'll answer it. Still designing my idea. I want to know this business part, so I'm glad to learn. Yep. Okay, Rachel. Good. Good. We're happy to talk with you at any stage you're at.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone. Have a good day.
Does anybody have any questions or any evaluation on this? We wanted to do a quick debrief.